Hi everybody! This week I'm going to show you how to make fabric apples. These apples make great decorations and you can even give them away as gifts. I like to set a basket of them in the center of my kitchen table, but of course I love to decorate with apples. They have that country look to them, and any country lover would adore a basket of these as a gift. You can even make one to give as a special gift to a teacher. I can't wait to show you how to make them, so let's get started. I will leave a list to the things that you will need down below.
The first thing to do is to draw out a pattern. Make it an egg shape like this. You can make your apple as big or as small as you want it. I made my pattern 4 inches wide and 5 inches tall. Don't be afraid to experiment with different sizes. Now you will need a piece of material and pins.
You can use any kind of material that you have to make your apples. You can even use felt or old t-shirts.
Cut 3 pieces of material that will fit your pattern. I just cut them all the same size. If your material has a print side, make sure you cut your pieces so that the pattern runs the same way on each piece. Here are my 3 pieces. Use your pins and pin your pattern onto the top of all 3 pieces of fabric. Once they are pinned, carefully cut all 3 pieces of fabric around the outside of the pattern like this. Now take your pins out and set your pattern aside. Put 2 of your fabric pieces together with the print side facing each other like this. We will sew from the top to the bottom along the edge about 1/4 inch in along one of the sides. I like to hand sew my apples, so I thread my needle.
You can also use your sewing machine to sew your apples.
Make a knot in the end of your thread and sew along the edge using the back stitch.
If you would like a more detailed tutorial on how to sew by hand, you can watch this video on how to sew a rag doll. I will leave a link to that down below to make it easy for you to get to.
Now flip one side of the half-sewn pieces over and lay your third piece of material so that the edges match up to each of the other 2 edges. Sew both of the edges the same way as you did the first edge, but be sure to leave a small hole in the top so that you can flip your apple right side out. Once it is sewn, flip the apple through the hole so that the print side is facing out. I use polyfill stuffing to stuff my apple. Once the apple is filled, use a needle and thread to sew the hole closed. Then end it with a knot. For the next step, you will need a long sewing needle. See how much longer the bottom needle is? You can use a small needle, but a longer one works much better. I also use coat thread for this part because it is much harder to break. If you are careful, you could use regular thread if you double it up, but it is likely to break if you pull it too hard. After your needle is threaded and knotted, push your threaded needle through the top of the apple all the way to the bottom and pull it through. Then do it from the bottom to the top. Pull it tight so that it forms a dimple on both sides of your apple. Now do it one more time, from top to bottom, then from bottom to top, and then pull it tight. And end it with a knot, being sure that the dimple holds tight. To make the stem, use your imagination and use what materials you have. Examples of what I had is cinnamon sticks, suede lace, and twigs from the yard. Cut your leaves out into the simple shapes of leaves like this. I use green felt for the leaves, but you can use any kind of material that you have. Now use a hot glue gun to glue your leaf onto the top of the apple. Then put the glue onto the stem and put it in the center next to the leaf. My apples turned out great. I love making apples.
I hope you enjoyed watching me make my fabric apples and that it encourages you to give it a try too. Be sure to check out our Facebook page where you can share some of your most recent crafts. Here is what was shared with us this week. Thank you so much for watching and sharing. I love you all, and I'll see you next week with another craft. Bye!
Here is a song that I know you're gonna love because I love it. My only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.